LinkedIn is a strange social media. It's not one I've ever used, to be honest. The only things I've ever seen it be used for is like subtle gloating or not so subtle gloating. So today we're going to be taking a look at some of the worst posts on LinkedIn from the subreddit r/LinkedIn lunatics. Use your paid time off. It's not like an arcade. You can't get a bigger stuff bear by saving your tickets. Use your paid time off. I used to give all okay, alright, it's satire. He's put his pronouns as we, them boys. I used to give all my pay time off to my co-workers because it would make me grind harder. If you are an employee, asking for a 3-week vacation ain't the best idea because those 3 weeks will show the company they can manage without you, so better ask for less. 3 weeks off in like one block is a lot to take, innit? But what, you think they're gonna sack you? If you're allowed to take 3 weeks off, you should be allowed to take it off whenever, right? PSA, 20 years from now, the only people who remember that you worked late are your kids. I hope you never stop recognizing how precious it is to sit with your children around a dinner table every night. My sister just sprinkled the last of Dad's ashes outside his former office with permission and with respect because he loved his work and loved being there. He taught us a strong work ethic is worth having. We know balances too. When I die, I want my ashes sprinkled on my gaming chair. So I'm on my return flight home from Barcelona, Spain, where I was delivering an international sales seminar. What, from the plane? You're on a plane giving a sales seminar. And guess what? Almost everyone in the entire plane has lights out and movies on. An 8-hour flight to watch movies or focus on performance improvement. Shut up, you nerd. What do you mean? When you're on a plane, you're not exactly in the most like active frame of mind, are you? You feel knackered. Like the air isn't right. You just kind of want to like just sit there and sleep or watch something. Were you talking about being on a sales seminar, you dweeb? You did not do that. You just didn't. You're lying. You were delivering an international sales seminar from plain Wi-Fi. Yeah, all right, mate. About 80% choose movies over momentum instead of a movie about... Instead of a movie, about 20% are choosing to think on paper, read a book, or focus on strategy. Whether you're flying on an airplane or just riding the plane of life, shut up. If you want to improve your life and sales, choose momentum. Lights on, not the movies. Lights out. Shut up. Like... You're waffling so much. You probably spent half the flight writing this. Interesting interview hacks we used early on to filter for special driven people. Right, actually, what I don't understand, LinkedIn is just like weird sort of little gloats like this. Oh, I'm using the right interview hacks. Oh, maybe you could use these too. One rang the candidate at 8 a.m. to request for interview. Early right. You rang about 8 in the morning. You insane. Scheduled telephonic interviews first round at 11 p.m. Late workers. Huh? What, so you want their mind to be active at 8 a.m. and active enough at 11 p.m. to be able to do an interview? You mental. Got the candidates to do a detailed business case, real world thinking. Got the candidate to spend 6 to 8 hours in the office, culture and patience. Did in-person interviews at 9 p.m, long working hours. Regularly did Sunday interviews, extraordinary commitment. For outstation candidates, asked them to show up next day, hustle. Like, LinkedIn people do my fucking head in. I have never ever wanted to punch someone so much for their listed job titles. Human renaissance, entrepreneur, advisor, analyst, engineer, innovator, disruptor, success enabler, investor, futurist, space. Well, you do all those things. You're a very busy man, Joshua. If you buy just one rental property a year that cash flows $500 a month after all expenses you make, and then all the, what? If you just buy one, yeah, all right, guys. If you guys just buy one house a year, you can make $6,000 with it. All you need to do is buy one fucking house a year. Have some self-awareness. What do you mean buying a house every year? Go as fast or as slow as you want. Just start being an owner. All right. Yellow flag. If you hire someone and they are not itching to help and dive in prior to their start date. The great hires start adding value before their official start date. Not every time, but most of the time. Well, they're just supposed to turn up at the office before their start date and go, oh, guys, I've got a great idea. If I was the manager of that office, I'd see that person as mental. 22 candidates interviewed and not one of them was the right fit. LinkedIn posts just rubbed me the wrong way. Why are you posting this? Why not go out and look for more candidates instead of spending half an hour writing this shit post so people on LinkedIn can circle jerk to it? My team just got started on an SDR search with a client who had interviewed 22 candidates, 0 hires. The biggest reason they passed on each of them, candidates were asking about paid time off and work from home policies. I mean, those are probably fair things to ask. Job seekers, interviewers learn more about you from the questions you ask than any answer you give. It tells them what's important to you. And if you did any research / prep prior to your interview, yes, interviewing is a two-way street, but your questions shouldn't solely focus on what's in it for you. Explain how you can add value and solve problems first, then uncover how they reward employees who do. Wait, like, shut up. Just shut up. LinkedIn user shut up challenge. Impossible. Never happened before. A ticket to see Oppenheimer costs $15. A ticket to see the Barbie movie costs $15. Together, that's $35. You sure about that, doctor? Are you sure? I will be investing that money in the S&P 500 instead so I can retire early. While you're watching Margot Robbie running around on screen, my money is working for me. What, so you're just never supposed to have fun? You're never This could well be satire, right? I don't know LinkedIn influencers. This could be a satire account. I have no idea. But there are people that think like this, like, what are you supposed to do? Just never have fun? Just put all your money into, like, the S&P 500? It is a good idea to invest your money, but what, just never have fun and just die with a lot of money? Yeah, great idea. The Human Centipede was a 2009 shock horror film about a German surgeon who got bored of separating conjoined twins and wanted to create them instead. The film somehow managed to spawn 2 sequels. Here are 5 things the film taught me about product management. Oh, he's got podcaster as part of his job. I'm feeling this one satire, but weddings are a waste of money. When my wife and I got married, we didn't waste $50K on a wedding. Instead, we sent every invited guest $500 and told them to invest in their favorite stock. Teaching 100 people financial literacy is more important than a single night of celebration. For more #personal finance advice. That has to be satire. Honestly, fuck glorifying hustle culture. Let's glorify taking time off. And then this licensed mental health professional replied with, that's why you don't get promoted while those of the rise and grind culture do. You wonder why boomers and Gen X are your bosses. Look at what you wrote above. Employers don't hire people who want to engage in quiet quitting. Those are the first people they choose to lay off when they can. Thank you, licensed professional mental health consultant. My team is fully remote and meetingless. Communication is 95% written. This comes with some huge benefits. We can revisit conversations easily. Misunderstandings are way less likely. Conversations easily turn into docs and internal wikis. Our output is 10 times higher than most startup teams of similar size I've worked with in the past. Your company has one employee on LinkedIn. I walked 0.8 miles barefoot in the snow just to get a meeting. It was Tuesday, the 17th of January, 2023. World Economic Forum, 7 a.m. My car got stuck. If I wanted to make it, I'd have to get a 3-hour train, but I was unprepared. I bought a swanky new pair of Louboutins, ready for all the private events and royal families. In 0.1 seconds, I knew I had to take it off, so I did. Every step was ice cold, and she put a snowflake emoji there, so you can really imagine it. I walked 0.8 miles to meet the taxi, got a 3-hour train, collected my badge, and finally made it. People were shocked. But to me, it seemed normal to stop at nothing. Yeah, you're just built different. Walking 0.8 miles in the snow, risking frostbite to get to, what was it? World Economic Forum. I'm not really sure what that is, but I'm guessing it's important. And that's exactly the mindset of an entrepreneur. When most people will say, I can't, I always say, I will. And that, my friends, is how I ended up walking alone and barefoot in Switzerland. That just sounds irresponsible. Like, that's probably really fucking dangerous. Well, today didn't go as hoped, but it's in the hardest of times we learn the best lessons and feel the most gratitude. Why have you posted a picture of your child? It's the dog dead. That dead dog. Why the fuck have you done? Why the fuck have you posted that on your LinkedIn? Are you insane? You shouldn't have. If you post stuff like this for the public to see, you should not have children. Genuinely. Why the rich get richer, the poor earns this much, spends this much, and it's the same much. Earns this much, saves this much, invests this much, spends this much. I mean, have you ever thought that the reason the poor spend this much is because they have less money and they need to spend that much to live? Have you ever thought about that harsh? It finally happened. My 6-year-old was called the word bossy. It happened when I was getting her ready for the day. She said, Mummy, you're being bossy. I calmly replied, I'm not being bossy, I'm giving you instructions. Then we talked about how it never had been in her vocabulary, and I asked if someone had called her that. After a few minutes, with tears in her eyes, she shared how her classmate called her bossy when she was trying to remind her of the teacher's instructions. I said, I'm sorry they called you that. You were trying to be helpful, and those are the... Those are actually skills of a CEO. What is a CEO, she asked. Is the boss of a big company, I replied. With bright eyes and a huge smile, she exclaimed, a boss? During our commute, she sang over and over again, I'm going to be a BOSS, folks. I think she found her calling. Didn't happen. It just didn't happen. Genius CPO thinks she did something groundbreaking. Turns out it was just giving employees lunch breaks. This morning, we launched the Just Eat... Okay, is this for Just Eat? That's ironic if Just Eat has just found out about the lunch hour. This morning, we launched the Just Eat Power Hour. Our colleagues told us while in lockdown they were on back-to-back calls and found it difficult to take a break away from their screen. That's not how we roll, so we've introduced the Power Hour. You mean a lunch break? The Power. You've introduced the Power Hour, or you've invented the lunch hour. It's designed for Just Eaters to have guilt-free time away from meetings, have lunch with the family, go for a walk, social distance, exercise, just breathe. It's their time. Another way we will continue to brilliantly enhance the lives of Just Eaters everywhere. Is this in addition to their lunch break? Obviously not. This is just a lunch such. Dude, they're just trying to make themselves sound better. That is just what LinkedIn is, innit? It's just trying to make you sound better or more intelligent than you actually are. I told myself I wasn't going to work on vacation, but with hotel lobbies like this, how can I not? And I just sit in there and have a coffee and eat some food. I've hired over 300 people. Some were amazing. Has he generated over $100 million in revenue for a... Okay, cool. That's nice. This is just, I guess, a bit of a shock. Because the only social medias I've ever really used are like Twitter, Facebook when I was like a child, and Instagram a tiny bit. I don't really use any other... I use TikTok, I guess, if you count that. I don't really use any other social medias. So, like, seeing one where it's like, in their bio, they've just got how much money they make for people. It's really, really weird. I'm pretty sure my Twitter bio is just like, I kick year threes for fun. I've hired over 300 people. Some were amazing, went on to get killer jobs, even start their own businesses. Others, not so much. Are you going to embarrass them in this post? My golden rule when building a high performance culture: hard work, and I mean really hard. A players I've hired work beyond 9 to 5, work on weekends, sacrifice work-life balance, are learning when they aren't working. If you're working 40 hours a week, imagine where you could be if you're working 80 hours. 80, that's 16 hours, 5 days a week. Or what you could accomplish in a year, others will do in 6 months. Yeah, but like, why? Why would you want to do that? That's mental. I'll tell you what, if you could work 80 hours a week, why not work 160 hours a week? What's stopping you doing that, huh? Lazy bastard. The devil whispers you cannot withstand the storm. The warrior replies, I am the storm. Imagine posting that about yourself on LinkedIn. List herself as a manager or managing director at all the websites she sells her jewelry on. That is sick, to be fair. Work smarter, not harder. Haha, I actually did die once and was back at work in 5 hours, had an accident and was dead about 9 minutes, went to the ER and an ambulance. They patched me up and I went home and worked from home the rest of the day. Cool, man. You should probably just like lied in bed or something. Like, getting up and working 5 hours after you died is probably not a very good idea for your health. Oh, is this on like fucking Threads? Who uses Threads still? I'm sure this will piss certain people off, but you don't need a weekend. The concept is barely 100 years old. It's a modern invention. What you really need is work you don't need a weekend from. You'd be amazed how much faster you get your goals when you don't work backwards 104 days per year. Contrary to what the masses will tell you, weekends can also be for work. Did you get lost on the way to LinkedIn? I mean, it is important to take days off. It is a fact that it is important to take days off. Definitely becoming less tolerant at my old age. Jake, I won't be in tomorrow. I think I picked up something from my kids and I can't stop being sick. 17. That's the number of days off you've had since November due to illness. 0 is the number of fucks I give. 18 is the number of days off due to illness you would have at this time next week. Based on this is the coordinate numbers to your local job centre, which you need if this carries on. Say no more. See you tomorrow. Hate those 10-minute illnesses. Glad you feel better. What? 10 reasons why flying private is worth it. Flying private is only worth it if it makes you money, essentially. If you're making money in the time you're flying. 1, improved work efficiency. 2, privacy. 3, comfort and do you know how expensive flying private is, by the way? I looked at it just out of interest. It's like if you want to fly like 10 hours, it's like 100 something grand one way. It's mental. 4, access to more airports. 5, fewer baggage restrictions. 6, travel with your pet in the cabin. That would be one thing. Like if I had a pet and I needed to go somewhere, I wouldn't want to put my pet in like the cargo or whatever. I'm scarred by that come fly with me bit where it's like he's like dog is dead. So if there was no airlines that would let me sit next to my pet, I would consider flying private, even though it would be an arm and a leg. Actually, if it was 100 grand, no way. But I think you can get ones that are like off leg or something like that, where it's like you get them when they're just like on their way back, so you only pay a fraction of the price. Convenience and flexibility, save valuable time, culinary delights, catering, travel between private jet terminals. Yeah, I mean, most of that isn't enough to make me want to fly private. You're just flexing. You're like, oh, look at me, I can fly private. Shut up. I don't even think that's a real private plane. It just looks like one of those that's like for a photo shoot. You know the ones. We need to stop glamorizing overworking, please. The absence of sleep, good diet, exercise, relaxation, and time with friends and family isn't something to be applauded. Too many people wear their burnout as a badge of honor, and it needs to be changed. Do you want to be rich or not? This guy is a certified Hustlers University graduate. You should listen to him. Stop spending time with your families. Just go to work. We had to lay off 90% of our support team because of this AI chatbot. Tough? Yes. Necessary? Absolutely. Why the fuck are you posting? Also, is this on Threads? No, it's Twitter. It's just this right at the top. Right. Tough? Yes. Necessary? Absolutely. The results? Time to first response went from 1 minute 44 seconds to instant. Yeah, but you're talking to a chatbot. Nobody wants to speak to a chatbot. Resolution time went from 2 hours 13 to 3 minutes 12. Customer support costs reduced by 85%. Here's how we did it. I don't care. A lot of real problems can be solved by working longer hours. 1, you make more money when you work more. Yes. Good observation, Alex. You have less time to spend the money you make. What's the point in having the money then, pal? You have less time to to think about the problems that never mattered to begin with. And he's got like a quote from himself under here. Normalize working 12 hours a day, doing the thing you love and ignoring the people who tell you that you shouldn't. I mean, that's not healthy though, is it, Alex? If you work 4 hours on the weekends, you can get 208 more working hours a year. That's 26 additional 9 to 5 days the average person works. You can get up at 4 a.m. and work until 8 a.m. and still have an entire day to take off. It will say you wouldn't get up at 4 a.m. That's insane. I had to get up at 4 a.m. the other day to get a flight. It ruined me for the next few days. Get up at 4. Oh yeah. You know, on your weekend, just get up at 4 in the morning. That's not mental. My morning routine changed my life. 6 a.m. make bed. 6. So why have you? Well, surely you could have just make bed and drink water there. Like, why did you have to have 6:01 a.m.? Do you schedule every time you take a drink of water? All right, my camera's died, and I don't have a spare battery, so we're just gonna read this one without face cam, okay? 6:05 a.m. meditate. I don't understand meditation. It's just not something I can do, really. I don't think. 6:35 a.m. stretch. Why do you need to schedule that in? 6:40 a.m. stand outside, listen to music or podcast. Is that really in your schedule? 6:50 a.m. begin creative work. 7:30 a.m. begin writing LinkedIn posts. Is this satire? I can't tell. Your first podcast coach. That's his job. Post. Begin engaging. Respond to comments on my post. So you spend an hour on LinkedIn. That's not an efficient use of your time. You may as well get up at 7 a.m. Respond to comments on my post. Engage. Respond to comments on my post. So you're going until 10 a.m. 6:30 a.m. breakfast. Yes, I drink water for 4 minutes straight. Kidding, but this is my real routine. Well, so you're just on social media for like 3 hours before you start your day. Yeah, very efficient, mate. I'm sure that changed your life. Oh my god. Okay, I was gonna end it there because my camera's fucking died, but I found one. That is, oh my god. A client emailed me today saying I was fired today. I replied saying, you weren't fired, you were promoted to an entrepreneur. Now we can focus on helping her grow a business full time. Congratulate this person on her promotion to entrepreneur. Hashtag entrepreneur, hashtag business. This person's made a quote of themselves. That's fucking hilarious. That's so good. Like and subscribe.